Other than all the trophies, one of the highlights of Klopp's tenure at Liverpool has been the recruitment. From Mo Salah to Andy Robertson, the Reds have barely put a foot wrong in the transfer market since Klopp became manager. But things were different before his arrival, with Liverpool being a lot more hit and miss in the transfer market. So today we're going to look at the last 26 signings Liverpool made before Klopp took over and see where they are today. Number 1, Philippe Coutinho, Bayern Munich on loan. Starting off with the transfer from January 2013, Philippe Coutinho should really still be a Liverpool player. Despite the arrival of Klopp in 2015, the little magician couldn't help but be tempted by the lure of Barcelona and headed to the new camp in January 2018 for an initial fee of £105 million, even if some idiot here was adamant that he wouldn't join them. Just to be clear, that idiot was me. Coutinho's time at Barcelona has been pretty horrendous and is now at Bayern Munich on loan whilst being linked with every club under the sun, including Liverpool. Would he want to come back? Absolutely. Would Klopp take him back? I doubt it. Luis Alberto, Lazio. From a former superstar to a man who barely played at Liverpool, Luis Alberto has really kicked on since leaving England. The Reds signed him from Sevilla in 2013 when he was just 20, but Alberto would only make 9 league appearances for the club. After a couple of loan moves back to Spain, he joined Lazio permanently in August 2016 and he's gone on to become one of the most creative players in Serie A and a man who could probably do a job in a Liverpool shirt now. IAGO Aspas, CELTA VIGO. The man best known for one of the worst corners in Premier League history, IAGO Aspas had been and gone before Jurgen Klopp took over. He only lasted one season before being loaned out, then in the summer of 2015 Aspas returned to CELTA VIGO permanently. Fortunately for him, the move back home brought him back to life, with Aspas scoring some great goals and earning international recognition with Spain. Simon Mignolet, Club Brugge. Signed from Sunderland to be number 1 after Pepe Reina, that's exactly what Mignolet was under Rodgers and then under Klopp as well. But come the start of the 2017 season, Klopp wanted a change and started playing Loris Karius more. That signalled the beginning of the end for Mignolet, who joined Club Brugge last summer after spending another year as backup, this time to Alisson. But the Belgian was a popular member of the squad, just one that didn't have the required quality to go where Klopp's team were heading. KOLO TOURE, coach at Leicester City. A Liverpool legend just for that time he ran straight into the referee and cleaned him out, KOLO TOURE's final season as a Reds player coincided with Klopp's arrival. His only goal for the club actually came under the German, but in the summer of 2016 his contract would expire and he would reunite with Brendan Rodgers at Celtic. Toure clearly likes Rodgers, as he would then join his coaching staff at Parkhead before following to Leicester last year. Where would he go next? You'll have to ask Brendan. SISSOKHO, ANTALYASPOR. The left back spent 1 year on loan with Liverpool under Brendan Rodgers, and it's fair to say he was pretty terrible. Not terrible enough to put Aston Villa off signing him, but still, fairly terrible. The Frenchman is now playing his football in Turkey, and at the age of 32 represents Antalyaspor, where he gets to play alongside Lucas Podolski of all people. Lucky bugger, I bet he gets loads of free kebabs. Thiago Ilori, Sporting Lisbon. When Liverpool spent £7 million to sign Thiago Ilori from Sporting, it seemed like they secured their future at the back. Oh, how wrong we were. The defender made a grand total of 3 appearances for Liverpool, all of which came in the Cup, and even a loan move to Villa failed to get him any Premier League minutes. The Reds got rid in 2017, with Ilori spending 2 years in the Championship with Reading before getting a move back to Sporting, where he's trying to forget all about his Liverpool nightmare. MAMADOU SAKHO, Crystal Palace. The French defender was the first real victim of Klopp's arrival, because when he took over you could argue that Sakho was actually Liverpool's best defender. But Klopp wasn't a fan of his attitude and application, and sent him off on loan to Crystal Palace before selling him permanently. He's done okay at Selhurst Park, but we'll wonder what might have been if he'd been a bit more punctual during his time at Anfield. Victor Moses, Inter Milan on loan. A forgotten player from Liverpool's past, Victor Moses nearly entered the Reds' history books during his short loan spell with the club. It was the year they threw the title away at Stamford Bridge then Selhurst Park, but Moses was eventually able to lift the Premier League trophy after a career renaissance courtesy of Antonio Conte. That man was a bit of a genius, wasn't he? He won the title with Marcus Alonso and Victor Moses in defence, and they were both key players. Anyway, back to Moses, he's now an Inter Milan player on loan until the end of August with an option to buy, where he's playing alongside a load of other Premier League rejects. Number 10, Ricky Lambert, retired. Liverpool have signed a lot of players from Southampton, but I think this has to be the worst. I mean, he was great for the Saints, but wanting him to do a job at one of the biggest clubs around was a bridge too far. After one season he left the club and missed Klopp's arrival, instead playing for West Brom before ending his career at Cardiff in 2017. Aaron Lallana, Liverpool. Finally we've got a player who joined Liverpool before Klopp arrived and is still there, although not for long. Lallana's had a decent Liverpool career and played some great football after the German arrived, but the last few years he's been crippled by injury, which has led to him leaving on a free at the end of the season. He'll leave with the Champions League and Premier League winners medal, but where will he go next? Let us know in the comments below. Kevin Stewart, Hull City. Signed from Tottenham in the summer of 2014, Kevin Stewart joined the club he dreamed of joining as a child, but it didn't quite go to plan. Stewart managed 11 Premier League appearances for the Reds and even got a new contract until 2020, meaning he could still be here today and a Premier League winner. But a year after signing that deal he was off, joining Hull City in the Championship. If you want to know if he's been any good, maybe ask our man Alfie from HITC Sevens. Emre Can, Borussia Dortmund. A man who could be key now for Liverpool if he hadn't decided to run down his contract and leave, Emre Can will always be remembered for that overhead kick against Watford. But he joined Juventus when his contract expired and his move to Turin didn't quite go to plan. Once Sarri took over he was out of the picture and he would join Klopp's former club Dortmund on loan. He's now a permanent player there in yellow and black, trying to ignore all the trophies Liverpool are winning in his absence. LAZAR Markovic, Partizan. Poor LAZAR Markovic, his Liverpool career was absolutely appalling and I just don't quite get what happened. When you gave him the ball he could run with it for days, but when it came to putting the ball into the box or taking a shot, his legs turned to toffee and his brains fell out of his ears. He had loan spells at Fenerbahce, Sporting, Hull and Anderlecht before joining Fulham in 2019 before their relegation. Well, he's now back playing for Partizan in Serbia, where incredibly he's averaging a goal every other game. Dejan Lovren, Liverpool. We've got another player who's still at Liverpool after Klopp's arrival, but to be honest he's been clinging on for dear life for a while now. He's fourth choice centre back, which isn't a fun place to be for anyone really, so it'll be no surprise if he leaves Anfield this summer. He might as well leave now, he's got all the big medals he's going to win, now's the time to get out and run before he has to start playing again. Divock Origi, Liverpool. Another man still with the Reds, Divock Origi's Liverpool career has been pretty mad. He's scored some incredible and historic goals, remember that night against Barcelona? But he's also had some runs in the team where you wonder if he's just a fan who's wandered onto the pitch, he's been that bad in front of goal. But Origi continues to operate as a backup striker for Klopp, a backup striker that is so cool under pressure that he forgets what he can actually do when the pressure isn't on. 17. JAVI MANQUILLO, Newcastle United. Manquillo joined Rodgers' Reds in 2014 on a 2-year loan deal, but sadly for him he didn't see it out. After a year he was sent back to Atletico, who in turn sent him to Marseille and then Sunderland. Poor bloke, no one deserves that. In 2017 he finally left Atletico permanently, joining Newcastle United under Rafa Benitez. From there he's gone from a lost puppy who looks thicker than a fat bloke you always see in the chippy, to a rather competent defender that has just signed a new 4-year deal at St James's Park. Alberto Moreno, Villarreal. Alberto Moreno started badly at Liverpool, then managed to get worse. While he was often okay going forward, he couldn't defend to save his life, sometimes so far out of position that you wonder if he actually thought he was up front. Once Klopp arrived his patience thinned and James Milner took his place, while Moreno just sat on the bench doing bottle flips like a moody teenager in the school playground. Once Andy Robertson began to get going, Moreno was a goner and he joined Villarreal in the summer of 2019 on a free. Mario Balotelli, Brescia. Christ, Liverpool made some rotten signings in the build-up to Klopp's arrival. Balotelli was brought in as a Luis Suarez replacement, with the only similarities being that they both play up front. Balotelli didn't manage to have the same bite as Suarez and managed just one Premier League goal for the Reds. He's since played for AC Milan, Nice and Marseille and is now back in Italy permanently with Brescia, no doubt setting off fireworks and wrestling with bibs on a day-to-day basis. Joe Gomez, Liverpool. While some of these signings were terrible and even left before Klopp arrived, Joe Gomez is a man who's always been destined for big things and Klopp has helped him achieve them. He's now one of Liverpool's best defenders and the same can be said for England as well. Just keep him as far away from Raheem Sterling as possible. 21. James Milner, Liverpool. Another man who's continued to have an influence at Liverpool since Rodgers left and Klopp took over, James Milner is a fan favourite at Liverpool and across the country. The veteran is fit as a fiddle, whatever that means, and will likely continue to play at the top for a good few years. He's played all over the pitch in a Liverpool shirt, so don't be surprised if you ever see him in goal as well. He couldn't be any worse than Karius, put it that way. Danny Ings, Southampton. I mean, we all know where Danny Ings is now. His time at Liverpool was ruined by injury, and who knows what might have been if he'd stayed fit. Either way, his move to Southampton has been a blessing in disguise, as he's now one of the Premier League's top scorers. He's competing with some of the best strikers around for this season's Golden Boot, which is a testament to how well he's done since leaving Anfield. Adam Bogdan Ferencvaros. Signed as a backup keeper in 2015 after his Bolton contract expired, Adam Bogdan knew what his role was at Liverpool. He was always going to be backup and made just 6 appearances in all competitions. He left in 2019 and signed for Hibernian permanently, but he's since been released and is now back at his native Hungary playing for Ferencvaros, where his manager is former Tottenham striker Sergi Rebrov. Roberto Firmino, Liverpool. He was signed by Rodgers, but it was when Klopp arrived that Bobby Firmino really arrived as well. I know it's late, but this video isn't meant to be a slight on Brendan Rodgers, by the way. But anyway, Firmino was going into a key player for Klopp, operating as the energetic false 9 that makes everything click into gear for the Reds. It's just a shame he's finding the net as regularly as RICKIE is right now. Christ, that was a tongue twister. Nathaniel Clyne, free agent. Once one of England's best options on the right of defence, just what happened to Nathaniel Clyne? Sure, he's been replaced by Trent Alexander-Arnold, but surely he could have been a decent backup as well. That doesn't matter, as Clyne is now long gone, released on June 30th when his contract expired. He didn't get a short-term extension like Lallana, which tells you all you need to know. And finally, Christian Benteke, Crystal Palace. The final player Liverpool signed before Jurgen Klopp became manager. What an appalling signing this was, and what a shocking player he's become since he left Villa. He cost the Reds a whopping £32 million, who somehow got their money back a year later from Palace. After a bright start to life in red and blue, Benteke is now a shadow of his former self at Selhurst Park, causing waves across the world whenever he actually manages to score a goal. So that's where Liverpool's last 26 signings before Klopp arrived are now. Let us know what you think in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and until next time, we'll see you around.